All soldiers of Freedom Army replied to a civic address presented by the Bombay Municipal Corporation, January 16, 1948. In the course of your address, you have mentioned some things which I have achieved and some which I have not. But there is one thing which I accept without reservation, viz., I served Ahmedabad municipality to the best of my capacity. I had unalloyed happiness in the tasks which I performed then. After all, to all of us, to serve your own city must give unmitigated pleasure and mental satisfaction which you cannot get in any other sphere. Further, to cleanse the dirt of the city is quite different from cleansing the dirt of politics. From the former, you get a good night's rest, while the latter keeps you worried and disturbs even at night. Whatever else you have said is merely a proof of your love, and I do not deserve your praise. You have mentioned about my having gone to jail several times. It was only one of the thousands who did so. We were all soldiers of Freedom's Army. I never realized that I was in prison. Actually, it was the officers who watched us that felt that they were in prison. The only worry which afflicted us was what was happening outside. To tell you quite frankly, as a result of what I have been doing in the center, I got imprisonment. I would welcome it, because from experience I have found that imprisonment is much sweeter. A result of our freedom struggle, we have succeeded in eliminating the foreign domination. But all that we have aspired for us has not been achieved. We had hoped to achieve peace by getting rid of the foreign domination. Actuated by the same motives, we accepted partition. Are we to admit before the world that we are not fit to rule? All sorts of conjectures have been made about Gandhiji's fast. The truth is that while there is peace in Delhi, as you have in Mumbai, Bombay, or elsewhere in India, Gandhiji says that this is the peace maintained by force and does not represent the unity of the heart. Gandhiji speaks, thinks, and acts on an eminence which we cannot attain. We long to reach there, but we simply do not have the capacity to do so. He has reached a height where he is not swayed by anger or malice. He is full of love and affection. If we had such a pure heart as he has, we would have realized the difference. We cannot therefore govern as he would like us to do. Instead, we have to maintain the police and the army. The guilty have to be punished and the wrongdoers censored. Those who indulge in such shoutings must therefore realize what the consequences of breaking the law would be. I am a frank man. I say bitter things to Hindus and Muslims alike. At the same time, I maintain, as I have said a number of times, that I am a friend of Muslims. If Muslims do not accept me as such, they also act like madmen. They do not seem to understand the right or the wrong. But for their attitude, I cannot forsake truth. I cannot descend from the pedestal of the duty. Some of them went to Gandhiji's and complained about my Lucknow speech, in which I had criticized them for not condemning Pakistan's attitude to Kashmir. They went and told Gandhiji many things, and Gandhiji felt compelled to defend me. That also pained me, for after all, I am not a weak person who would be defended by others. You have referred to what we have been able to achieve, but I want you to realize that we have achieved is incomplete. That is incomplete. The real task is still in front of us, namely the planning of the shape of things in the future in this country. Opportunities for doing so have come, but we do not seem to realize it. If we did so, we would not be acting in a manner in which we are doing at present. The supreme task of the moment is to live up to the real spirit of what have recounted in the address. It is in the spirit that we have decided to hand over 55 crores which we had agreed to allocate to Pakistan out of our cash balances. I can assure you that when we settled this sum, we acted in a spirit of generosity and goodwill. The financial advisor of the Pakistan government admitted that the settlement was generous. The London Economist was also of the same view. I made it clear then that not a single item would I go before the tribunal, but at the same time I emphasized that the whole agreement would be implemented simultaneously with the settlement on the other issues. I could never have agreed to the proposition that all gains were theirs and losses ours. They, however, claimed it in isolation. We all decided that this was entirely wrong and it should be resisted. Pakistan papers and spokesmen, when they heard of it, emitted poison. When Gandhiji undertook the fast, we thought we could clear the atmosphere. For after all, when we are throwing money like water, why should we cavil at the payment of rupees 55 crores if it meant some relief to Gandhiji's mental agony? We hope it will evoke some response from Pakistan. But if it doesn't, the fault is of our fate. It is true that we have to take the people with us, but we have also to think of Gandhiji. We take a short range view while he takes a long range view. To all outward appearance there is peace in Bombay city, but it is not the peace which existed here 10 years ago, when the poison that had spread during the last 7 years had not spoiled the atmosphere. When that peace will return, we do not know. We should, however, make efforts to end towards that end, towards achieving that. If we fail, we can only curse our stars, for it would be a misfortune of India. Nevertheless, we cannot blind ourselves to the fact that we have achieved something by making India more united today than it was at any time during the past several centuries. We should unite more, but that requires a determined effort. In such united India, Muslims should feel as secure as the rest of the population. For this, however, Muslims will have to change their outlook. They must forget the lesson of the two-nation theory which had been taught to them. We have to create an atmosphere in which Pakistan can go the way it likes and India can follow its own course. You are distant from the scene of misery, privation and devastation. The blood shed in Pakistan flows down to Delhi and turns people's mind. Here you can take a detached view. The nation's leader Jawaharlal has, during the last few months, aged by 10 years. He is indescribably worried and anguished. I appeal to you to reflect on what is happening. Here you have taken strikes merely to test leadership. Excuse me. Why should they have resorts to it? Why should it happen at all? We can give them in writing that they are the leaders. We cannot set our own house in order. We can never achieve the destiny of this country. There was a time when India's message had gone to the other countries. Gandhiji reenacted those scenes when he sent out the message of ahimsa. But now we seem to have fallen on different ways. We have to get out of this mess. You have also referred to the needs of your corporation and schemes of Greater Bombay. You have also asked the central assistant. But you should realize that central government is not foreign to you. It is your own. Bombay contributes to the center. You get your own money back. I realize that Bombay has to bear the burden, but Bombay occupies a preeminent position. It is the center of political activity. India looks to Bombay for assistance. You have reversed the process and wish now to look to the center for help. How can we resolve this confusion? If we assist one city, others will claim similar assistance. Bombay is only one city, but India is yours. We cannot live on the capital accumulated by our predecessors. We must increase our income. We cannot forever subsist on the reputation of our giants of the past like Sir Firoz Shah Mehta and Sir Din Shah Wacha. The old days when they ruled the city are no more. Those days people were easily satisfied. Now they are in a perennial state of unrest. You have therefore to suffer criticism. But Bombay is fortunate that it has maintained its reputation, is proud of its achievements, and jealously guards its interests. You should trade in those valuable commodities. Let the city be in the forefront of cities of the world. I had been to Calcutta. There I pointed out that the premier city of India did not deserve to be dirtiest, but nobody dare amend the Corporation Act, without which any improvement is impossible. Here you have a constitution given by those old giants which has stood the test of time and proved to be an invaluable guide. You have now given franchise to all adults. Some are apprehensive, but you can take your own voters with you by demonstrating your spirit of service and presenting them with solid achievements. I once again thank you for your kindness in presenting me with this address, and I assure you that I will always value this as token of your affection and regard.